Hi, my name is Bill Wessels. I'm the sales manager here at Autzen Oil. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about how to interpret an oil sample report. Assuming the oil sample was pulled properly, the report that you receive is going to have a wealth of information. Let's take a look at it. There's going to be two sections that you're going to be very interested in: the condition of the oil itself and the contaminants found within that oil. Let's talk about the condition of the oil. The first thing you're going to want to look at is the viscosity of that oil. Does that fall within the range that's still acceptable for the intended use of that oil in that particular piece of equipment? The second thing you're going to want to look at is the oxidization number. Is that within the range that means that the oil is able to continue to do the job that it was designed to do? The next thing you're going to want to look at is the TBN, the total base number, or the total acid number. That'll give you an indication of what's going on with the acidification of the oil itself. And then you can look at the soot level and the fuel level within that oil, which will affect the viscosity of the oil. Okay. The next thing we want to take a look at is the contaminant level. Contaminants in the engine oil will tell us a lot of different things. First thing we're going to look at are the wear metals. Wear metals come from the different metals used to build that component, and it'll tell you what's going on in certain areas of that piece of equipment. For instance, if you're seeing a lot of iron in an engine, you know that something's going on with either the pistons or the liner itself. Chrome or vanadium, typically on rings. If you see a lot of aluminum, that can be from thrust washers. Copper can be from the oil cooler. So different metals will tell you different areas that are misbehaving, let's say, within that piece of equipment. And the amount of, as in parts per million, of that particular wear metal will tell you how bad the damage is, or how bad whatever's going on in that engine is. Let's say you have a parts per million of 60 in a diesel engine. That's not too bad. That's well below the condemning limits. If you have 300, however, that's a huge issue, parts per million of iron. If you have 300 parts per million iron in a rear differential, that's not too far out of line. Okay? So the types of metal and the amount of metal within an oil sample will tell you what's going on and where within a particular piece of equipment. The next thing we want to take a look at is, are there any coolants, especially if it's a diesel engine oil or a passenger car motor oil. If there's any coolant in there, you know you've got some issues, and you can tell if there's coolant in there by a couple different things. Is there are there sodium deposits in there, and is there potassium in there? Those two things are coming from your coolant. Silicon will typically mean that there's dirt in there, silicon oxide. Sometimes silicon can come from seals. If somebody used RTV or some other silicon based sealant when rebuilding an engine or repairing a part. The last thing we want to look at is water. How much water, if any, is in the oil sample. Water is probably one of the worst things you can, besides dirt, is one of the worst things you can put into an engine oil. It causes all sorts of damage to not only the oil itself, it causes horrific damage to metal components, as you well know. And that's really it. You want to take a look at the condition of the oil. Is it still able to do the job that it was designed to do? And you want to see what's going on within the component itself by looking at the wear metals and some of the contaminants. We'll go into the add pack at a later date in a different video to talk a little bit about what the additives are designed to do in a particular motor oil. So if you have any questions, please contact Autzen Oil directly or your sales manager. And if you're not an Autzen Oil customer, give your oil marketer a call. See if they can help you. If they can't, let us know. Thanks.